Greetings, everyone. This is B.A.M of Bear Paw Media, and won't you join me for a tour of the Awesomeverse? Now, last time I left off talking about the history of the server, how it started, and just the initial builds, and that leads into today's episode where I want to take you and show you guys some of the first builds that we ever did. In fact, the very first build, the very first build, I'd say, is right over here. Now, the server was originally started with Yin the Fish and myself. And as soon as it went up, Yin the Fish started to work over here. Now, right now you can see this build, which is also by Yin the Fish, which is a massive dam. That looks really cool. But this wasn't always the case. Originally what was built here was a very grand staircase that led all the way down here. And this is where all that TNT came in handy. As you can see, this place got all kinds of blown up. And it led down here. And what was going to be down here was an underground castle / underground city, so to speak. Now, the original idea that we ended up having was I was going to build a castle in the sky. CL Boneyard 34 was going to build a castle underwater, and Yin the Fish was going to build a castle on the land. And that was going to be the initial setup. This is obviously no longer the case, as we now have Spawn Point City. But that was the original idea. I liked it. I kind of wished that we could have done more with it. But Yin the Fish had other ideas. So, to paint a picture, because I thought it looked gorgeous, is he had a red staircase that came down, made with red wool. And there was, I believe it was stone slabs that were beside it. And there were massive pillars of lapis lazuli trimmed with gold. And the back was made with snow, and it gave it like a white marble feel. And it looked really impressive. There was also a ceiling. As you can see, there's some remnants of the ceiling. And all over the ceiling were glowstone, I believe is what it's called. The glowy blocks. Because we had tons of monsters spawning in here, and that was quite terrible. In fact, there's one now. As you can see, we ran into a dungeon. Why, hello there, Mr. Zombie. How are you? I'll kill you now. Cha! Oh, wait, no. And there we go. Okay. So yeah, what was going to be here was an underwater, or not underwater, I apologize, an underground kingdom. But that didn't happen. And that's pretty much all that there is of this now. Oh, well, actually, why is there a dam here, you might ask? Well, Yin the Fish was like, I'm not doing anything with this. We gotta get rid of it. And I was like, yeah, we should probably get rid of it. So he left me to decide what to do with it. And I decided I wanted to make it a raft. Or not raft, but rapids. So I poured a bunch of water down here, and the water came down. And I was planning to sort of carve all of this out and make a massive underwater or underground river that would lead through the Awesomeverse and go in that direction, because we don't have any builds in that direction. He didn't like the rapids. He thought they looked butt ugly. So this was his response to my rapids, was his dam. And he built this. I think he's going to build something under here. I don't know 100% sure. I'm not 100% sure. It is hollow, so there could be something here. I think it'd be kind of cool to have a little secret place here, but who knows. That aside, so let's go check out the other builds, which are actually across the way. So we'll just go through here. And I suppose while I'm on the way, I might as well tell you about the original story that I had planned. And I wanted to give this server something to make it a little extra special. So what I was going to do was I was going to make like a little comic about the server and just the adventures on it. Nothing too fancy, just like a short, maybe 4-panel episodic comic about our server. So that way, if there were, because at the time we were thinking that there was going to be a bunch of people on the server, you know, that would give them a little more incentive to come on here, because then they'd get to see their skins and their characters and their adventures made into comic form. This is Lake Jubilee, as we called it. But anywho, so I had this original idea that there would be some kind of lore with the server, and that there was these 3 kingdoms that were probably had some form of utopia or at least some form of peace between the three, and then something went horrifically wrong. And I wanted that something to go wrong with my kingdom, which, as you can see over in the distance there, is my floating castle. And I wanted it to be like the center point of where everything went wrong. And oh, here's some signs here. We got the Undertaker Pass. That's what we called it. There's the Undertaker Pass, and caution, said to be haunted. See, so you can see where I was starting to implement certain parts of that story that I had in mind. And, well, first off, before I go on about more story, I want to let you guys know that this is mostly legit. Not the two parts on the side, but the first part is mostly legit. And I'll explain that as we get up there. But it was the largest pain in my keister to build this thing, because I used dirt scaffolding to get up there, and whew, man, was that a pain. But I think it was definitely worth it. So we have Undertaker Pass and Solomon's Keep. So my place, I called it Solomon's Keep, and I had planned to make a story about some evil being that went up there, and it used to be a place of some kind of, I don't want to call it magic, but something of a little more grander scale, and something took over it, and that's what kind of sort of caused everything to freeze over. As you can see, I built this dock, and the idea was that this used to be all water, and that boats used to be able to go to and from place to place, but no longer is the case. Which is funny, because the server must have liked the idea, because during the 1.8 update, everything froze over anyway, because of the biomes changing, but that side. So this is the idea of the Undertaker Passes. You come in here. This is probably like the second build of the server. But you come in here, and you can see Travelers Welcome, use anything as you see fit. And so you can take stuff, leave stuff, chill, some beds. And it was just a good idea to sit here and rest, because Croc Bay is quite a ways from here. So if you're coming out this way to mine and stuff, you can sit here and rest for a little bit. Right here. And then later I built this little bridge, because we have this hole there. But so this is the Undertaker Pass, and right now I'll take you to Solomon's Keep. Lots of lava. By the way, I'm sure you other Minecrafters know, lava is really difficult to work with. The physics of lava, oh man, they have a mind of their own, I swear. Oh, get in here. So as you can see, there are pumpkins everywhere. That's kind of my motif on this server, as my skin is the headless horseman with a pumpkin head. So this is, you walk up here, and little scarecrow guy just chilling. Make him dance. Make him dance! Woot! Rave party! That aside. And the idea was that this is where I originally started scaffolding, and I would build up here all the way up, and then I started to make the rest of that. But now I can just fly. Woot! Yay for cheating. And so this is my castle. My castle in the sky, if you will. And when I say most of this is legit, up until this part right here, and this part right here. So basically this in the square, and everything else is all legit, except for the gold here. And I'll explain that in a second. Or actually, no, I'll talk about it right now. Why not? So this gold floor wasn't always gold. It used to be copper. Or there used to be copper blocks, all of which were legitly mined, and I've got the mines to prove it. And the reason I changed it is because they had a really cool... Did I say copper? I meant iron. I don't know if I said copper or not, but I totally meant iron blocks. And the reason I said that, or the reason I messed up, is because I was going to talk about how the color was a very copper color. Had that kind of brownish metallic look to it, and I really liked it. I really liked the way it looked here. But that was with the texture pack I was using. And when I removed that texture pack, I saw that it was all that really bright silver color that the default texture pack makes iron look. And I didn't like that at all. I thought that was ugly. So I cheated up some gold, and then I made this floor all gold. Because then it looks good in my texture pack and in the default texture pack. So That's the reason I did that. Come down here. I believe there's a zombie. Yes, there is. They always greet me down here. It's like their little hideout. There he goes. Now, as I was talking about earlier, I did have an idea for this place to be kind of a center of not necessarily magic, but something sort of higher and kind of spiritual. And this is part of it. Is I had the idea that obsidian would kind of be the basis of that quote unquote magic, and the people here harnessed it and used it, and that's what makes this place float. And so this is sort of the central pillar. And as you can see, as I get up here, oh, maybe the pillar runs all the way up to the top of the kingdom, and that was my explanation for why this place floats. And I also used the redstone torches because redstone's kind of magical too in its own way, seeing as it doesn't really have any lore, but it seems to be able to produce electrical effects somehow. So yeah, so that was the idea, and the lava was just for to look cool. That was really the only reason I put the lava there. But yeah, so and that would be the general idea of what this place was. And you can see you come over here, and we get to the top. And right now, I had the idea that the three kingdoms used to exist a long time ago, but now they're sort of broken down and decrepit. And I built this place kind of trying to give it a ruins-esque feel, which is why I used mossy stone. That's mossy stone in this texture pack. And why this place is sort of broken up is because I wanted to give it that kind of ruin feel, that kind of it's decrepit and breaking down sort of feel. But yeah, this is the major throne room, I suppose. Because if I ever were to have a castle and my own kingdom, I would have it outside. If I'm going to be sitting making decrees all day, I want it outside, where I can at least enjoy myself. And it's raining. I'm gonna fix that real quick. I'll take you here. And this is the massive throne that I made. It's a little showy offy, seeing as it's made of obsidian. But I guess it's really not, because obsidian was really easy to find on this server. As I said, this is all legit, well, except for the gold here. So, as you can tell, lava was very prevalent. Prevalent? That's the word? Yeah? Yeah. Well, if it's not, I'm using it. So, it was all very prevalent. It existed a lot, is what I mean. And so, obsidian really wasn't that hard to get, because lava's everywhere on the server. So, I guess it's really not as showy-offy. I didn't intend it to be, I know that much, but... Oh, and I just fell. But I'm going to end off right here at my throne, which is usually where I come and sit if I don't have anything planned. I'll just sit here and I'll text, or not text, but I'll talk to people through the chat and let them handle things themselves. But yeah, I will leave us right here for next time. And next time, I will go over the rest of the castle, and I will check out CL Boneyard 34's awesome water fortress place. But until then, I will see you guys later.